You're welcome back to Joy News at 8. And 3 independent members of Parliament and the New Patriotic Party have been jointly sued by the Forum for Governance and Justice for allegedly crossing carpet to join the NPP during its primaries. The suit filed by Dr. Clement Apaak is praying the court to immediately declare as vacant the seats of the 3 MPs and also to withhold their ex gratia since they did not complete their terms as MPs.
According to Dr. Clement Apaak, the 3 had violated Article 97H of the 1992 Constitution, which states that any member of Parliament who crosses carpet automatically loses his or her seat. The 3 members of Parliament, Seth Ejay Ba, MP for Nkoko, Joe Osei-Wusu, MP for Bekwai, and Edward Nanayao Ofori-Kuregu, MP for Bosome Frehun, are alleged to have crossed carpet when they joined the race to seek the candidature of the NPP in the respective constituencies during the party's primaries in August this year.
If you don't cross carpet, how do you subject yourself to the vetting processes of a political party and thereafter run in its primaries? That is the clearest indication of crossing carpet. We said all of this, we advocated, we spoke about it, and nothing has happened. So out of the need to uphold the sanctity of the Constitution and to demonstrate that nobody is above the law, including the lawmakers themselves, the forum had no other recourse but to go to court to seek a number of reliefs. The other reason why we wanted this action to be initiated is also because moral society, flag bearers, civil society, religious leaders, and all the different categories of leaders in this country have had a tendency to overlook brazen breaches of the Constitution. And that is not something that the forum will ever tolerate.
Dr. Apaak conceded the suit is a test of the rule of law, knowing very well the case had been filed some few weeks to the general elections.
You see, some have argued that perhaps because this is too close to an election, there is no merit. And I disagree. This case is purely based on principle. We must make sure that we demand accountability from all members of society, particularly from leadership. We cannot overlook the infractions of our leaders and yet hold the rest of the citizens accountable. So yes, it may be close to an election, but this case has relevance for the growth of our democracy. It would also serve as a great lesson to those who are going to be contesting the upcoming election as independent candidates, for them to know that should they win their seats as independents and they decide to do what these 3 that we have sued have done, there's going to be a price to pay. So that is the medium to long-term benefit that we are hoping that this case will bring forward.
According to Dr. Apaak, the current action against the MPs and the NPP has been necessitated due to the inability of the Speaker of Parliament to act on the issue, despite several notices as well as the disappointing silence, which has greeted this gross illegality and a breach of the Constitution.
Now, fishermen in the Gamashi and Adan communities of the Greater Accra region say the celebration of Farmers' Day has been irrelevant over the years. They have also complained that 2 days to Farmers' Day, they are unaware of the role during the celebration.
The National Farmers' Day was instituted and first held in 1985 to help find solutions to the challenges that confront farmers through an award system that motivates and opens up opportunities for hard-working farmers. Over the years, national, regional and district derbys have been held to mark the occasion. To the ordinary Ghanaian, both crop farmers and fishermen benefit from the celebration. Our interaction with the fisher folks of Gamashi and Adan proved otherwise.
Amentani wuleme huaba mi kuenkeje je ngone esani amma hawolete alu amma wo to ino ake nege be fe farmers holiday eke ama me fe awe wo kaji wo famu me na me te je me le hu e fo ke no kopo na me na a invite me ame te je me e fe opi ke ni bi ko me aha me ko ya fi o anya aha me chondi alo noko ni ba ha ame ke kai ne ke farmers di ni
wo wa ma mi akraba yan ko farmer donor ka in pay no wa to egun le wa ke inu e kan a che no ko ge farmer dey say ajuro wa we ke noko koloji aha wo noko we nge farmer dey mi ye wa to egun le wa ke inu e ke farmer dey ah wo noko we nge mi ye.
According to the fishermen at Gamashi, they are unable to purchase outboard motors because ministers of state have taken over the sale of the motors.
Minister say ekome ya chonchon amede na mo me hon le kalabule ha wo ni fence en yeso asi wo majority insurance wo chun ni tumo e wo no wo shana je sani ke ahye moto e ne ba wo onu pa de na ne ba ahye wo de ke achonchon na ga je ngbe keke benin sani majority aba wo de enye ba keke fen ya egwani minister sa lo onu pa e ade keke 20 years fa e wo benin sani na ana moko ba na ke moko na ni do jinu ni gba wona bia na aba moto ele yi wo de nche.
They also requested for a cold store.
Ba fe cold store awo eja ke so be na gbiolo na he ni lo efen shu eyin asike ni obi e sika cold store ye na lo fen awo mi e ba se be ni ka na abanya ya ji keke ahun.
For the fishermen of Ada and its surrounding communities, an increase in premix fuel allocation in order to help them deal with the huge deficit of the product in the area is a key problem.
Wanyagbaka ke unji petrol lo me pio lo me ahie la isane ka be ne chene feso da engeda ne kotes keke ne oya hio sane pio hu ehisijan kone ke ka otesion oya ne oya he se pio ebe petrol wa industry no kwakwaku eko ke ka petrol ba kan ochio ja kan ochi enyoma mi loko je mapale mapaba kolo me jine ne chene enge wa hipoto ke ha wo ya ye.
Prizes for the award winners delay for years as the 2010 National Best Farmer Benjamin Ajete received the 3-bedroom house grand prize in 2012. This year's National Farmers Day celebration has been rescheduled to Friday, 2nd November instead of the regular first Friday in December every year.
Away from that, the Executive Director of Policy Think Tank, Imani Ghana, Franklin Cudjoe, wants the Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority, Sylvester Mensah, to be sacked for failing to successfully manage the scheme. He says Mensah shies away from research that would aid him to better manage the lives of citizens. Research, according to Franklin Cudjoe, is the only way to improve on any scheme or innovation, especially on health.
He said the scheme's stunt growth is questionable.
If you are the head of NHIA and you are advising the political party to institute a single-term premium payment, first of all, it defies science, it defies logic. Secondly, it defies your own institutional arrangement. Here is a scheme that must grow. It defies a notion of a futuristic vision of what a health institution or healthcare should be. Why? Because you see, we are growing. There's a 2 to 3% population rate every time. What it means is that the scheme will be burdened, right? Now, diseases are becoming very tricky. Malaria, for instance, if you look at the treatment for malaria, artemisinin-based drugs are becoming quite resistant to malaria. Has it done all of that? Does he know that chronic diseases are now taking up a lot of the budget of people? Has it done that? If you've not done this, what's your business even running an enterprise like that?
The only way to revive the scheme is to sack the NHIA boss, he said.
And there are people in this country who can do their job. I am saying that the head of the NHIA has no business being at the helm. Especially one, he's sitting there, he's never done any appraisal of the scheme. So he doesn't know the economic burden of the diseases on the scheme. He doesn't know whether we should start introducing private pathways properly into the scheme. He doesn't seem to understand what he's doing there. And to think that he has not done any proper scientific calculation analysis to come to that decision that the NHIA should be the one that we should all be happy about. He's just supervising and happy that many more people are getting sick. I don't see that as development.
He suggests that governments must be mindful of who to appoint to such sensitive positions.
Even the issue about he being fired, I think it may not ever happen, because you see, once you make certain institutions politically appointed institutions, it becomes difficult. My point is that if you had a serious professional there, I do not believe. There are people in this country who have decided to resign. Kwame Pianin resigned because he couldn't stand Kufuor telling him that, look, PURC has set the tariff rates, and then you come and tell him that because of politics, let's not pay. Kwame Pianin resigned. That's the professionalism I'm talking about. Until we get that, this country is going nowhere. And if you're a young man and you have been entrusted with this thing, this is not a personal attack. It's a professional attack. I've seen his likes in other parts of the world.
Franklin Cudjoe dared NHIA to give an account of economic burden on the scheme, something he's been waiting for 2.5 years.
Away from those candid thoughts, for the past 3 weeks, the murder suspect, Evans Oboba Lord, has been handcuffed to a container instead of being kept in the police cells. The suspect, who is said to be deranged, was arrested by the Sakumono police for killing his mother after striking her with a pestle. Police say his violent behavior towards inmates and lack of facility to detain him has seen the suspect tied to the container instead of the cells.
The suspect, who is currently facing a charge of murder, was arrested by the police on October 13 at around 10:30 p.m. at the Sakumono village, a suburb of Tema. The Sakumono District Police Commander, Superintendent Alex Wowolo, who spoke off camera, said the suspect had to be arraigned before court to have been placed under custody legally after investigations showed he was mentally deranged. He was then sent to the hospital for treatment, but was brought back on the advice of the psychiatric at the facility. But Evans had to be handcuffed to the container as he behaved violently, assaulting other inmates at the police station. Superintendent Alex Wowolo said, due to the lack of facility to detain the suspect to prevent further assault to inmates, he had to be handcuffed against the container in front of the estate police station. The police say Evans is only handcuffed to the container during the daytime, but handcuffed outside the cell gate in the evening. According to Superintendent Wowolo, the suspect would be sent back to the psychiatric hospital on November 6th for further treatment. The police commander also advised the public and family members to report to the police people of such nature or should send them to the hospital for treatment to curb such incidents.
Now, sadly, an accident on the Tema motorway this evening left some passengers on board an Accra-bound 207 bus injured, while the drunk driver who caused the accident was taken away by the airport's police. The trailer veered off its lane and hit the side of an unregistered BMW car before falling into the Tema to Accra lane. Unfortunately, a third car, a fully loaded 207 Benz bus from Tema heading to Accra, ran into the trailer, injuring some passengers on board. The injured were conveyed to the Tema General Hospital. Now, eyewitnesses say the driver of the trailer was drunk. Police officials from the airport police station took the drunk trailer driver away. The trailer veered off its lane and hit the side of an unregistered BMW car. You're welcome to Business Report. And the National Petroleum Authority has denied shortage of liquefied petroleum gas in the country. Speaking to Joy News, Public Relations Officer of the NPA, Yaro Kasambata, said reports of LPG shortage in some parts of the country are false. He admits, though, there are some facility challenges at all.
We don't call that shortage, because to say shortage is to say the product is not in the country. The product is indeed in the country. It's one thing having the product, it's another delivering the product to the people. Moving the product from the storage facility into the retail stations for consumers to buy runs on a certain infrastructure which is not adequate. So more of the LPG is needed in a day than the infrastructure can deliver. So, business will open and close in a day, and yet queues are not served because the amount of gas that came to town is lower than what the people need. And it's not because it's short in supply at the refinery.
He said the authority will on November 1st take delivery of about 1,200 metric tons of LPG in Takoradi.
As we speak, our stock is good. We are taking delivery in Takoradi tomorrow, 1,200 metric tons. Today we are delivering 7,000 metric tons, which in excess can last more than a week. But you can still have this in our storage, as we do most of the time, and yet the consumers will still have to queue because on a daily basis less than what they require gets to the market because you have inadequate infrastructure to deliver. These are actually the fundamental reasons why you are constantly seeing the queues out there, and it's even worsened because today you have more of commercial vehicles using the product. We are not singling them out for blame, but they are a key factor in this whole equation.
He also assured that the NPA will soon introduce a program at the refinery to ease the pressure on it.
We are willing to put more, but the facility to deliver it is not there. Going forward, there are 2 facilities that are coming up in Tema. It should be up and running, hopefully at the end of the year. Latest next year, early next year. These are 2 substantial facilities that will augment the facility we have in Tema. It's meant to improve the delivery rate of LPG onto the market because at the moment that is a challenge, not the product itself. We are including Takoradi because we think everybody's attention is focused on Tema.
The National Petroleum Authority has taken delivery of 7,000 metric tons of LPG today in a bid to address the seeming shortage.
In business news from across the world, the European Union Statistics Agency says Eurozone unemployment jumped to a fresh high of 18.49 million in September. The number of people out of work rose by 146,000, pushing the unemployment rate up to 11.6%. This compares with 10.3% a year earlier. And some more business news from across the world. Disney is buying Lucasfilm, the company behind the Star Wars films, now from its chairman and founder George Lucas, for $4.5 billion. Lucas said it is now time for him to pass Star Wars on to a new generation of filmmakers. Let's check out smart investment and market data.